The year is 2009, birds are chirping, flowers are beautiful as usual, and BlackBerry just happens to be one of the best phones you could find in the market to buy. But I'm probably sure you're all wondering, where exactly is BlackBerry and what happened to BlackBerry?
Oh, looks like we're back to 2024, where everything is literally quite expensive and BlackBerry is literally non-existent. In order to know what exactly happened to BlackBerry, we'll need to go all the way back in time to 1999, where everything officially began. In 1999, BlackBerry launched their very first device, which was surprisingly enough not a phone but a pager which went by the name of the BlackBerry 850. The BlackBerry 850 was a very popular device and very impressive device, but mind you, BlackBerry wasn't that popular at the time. Reason being that they were owned by another company known as RIM, which stands for Research in Motion. Even though BlackBerry wasn't so popular at the time, BlackBerry 850 was for the following reasons. One, it possessed a full-on QWERTY keyboard, which unlike its competitors like the Nokia 9000 possessed only a 12-dial keypad. Two, it gave you 4 hours of talk time and 72 hours of battery life on standby, which is really impressive for phones as of that year. Moreover, it gave you access to the internet and also allowed you to send and receive emails and also make phone calls and receive phone calls. This device was such a huge hit that it made over 1 billion sales worldwide, and it was supposedly made for business users, but then because of how impressive and good it was, it got into the hands of daily users such as we common users in this day. This device was what paved the way for success for the BlackBerry company. Moving on to the early years 2000, BlackBerry finally made their very first phone, which went by the name of the BlackBerry 857. The BlackBerry 857 was a really impressive device, for it was a phone that still offered the full-on QWERTY keyboard. And this was a huge selling point for BlackBerry devices, and just 2 years later, which is 2002, BlackBerry released another device, another phone, which went by the name of the BlackBerry 5810. The BlackBerry 5810 was a really good device, for it was a phone that offered full-on internet connectivity. And so at this time, this wasn't really common, but BlackBerry did that. And their only competition at this time was mainly just Nokia, so they could put up with the competition. And here, BlackBerry only got to know more and more success. Oh, okay, looks like we're in 2004, which is exactly just 2 years later. Well, in 2004, BlackBerry launched a new device, a new series, which went by the name of the BlackBerry 7100 series. The BlackBerry 7100 series was really impressive and well received, for it offered the users the exact same QWERTY keyboard, which everyone actually loved. Also, it also offered the users secure email and messaging features, and they were well developed and well improved considered to their last devices, for it had new features such as autocomplete and autocorrect. And lastly, the new and improved design. It was sleek, but also had a trackball in the middle, which was basically like a mini mouse inclusive for navigation, and the QWERTY keypad was well improved compared to the last devices. And just 2 years later, again 2006, BlackBerry launched the BlackBerry 8300 Curve. This device was another huge hit, for it offered the users the exact same features as the 7100, but also this time around it was curved. That actually just it, but it was a little bit faster and well, better. And BlackBerry was doing really well in the market despite the launch of iPhones in 2007, which is just a year after, but this didn't really shake BlackBerry, for just a year later, after 2007, BlackBerry launched the BlackBerry Bold. In 2008, they launched the BlackBerry Bold, another impressive device, and 2 years later, 2010, BlackBerry had already had a total of 48 million users worldwide and had a revenue of nearly 15 billion US dollars. This was a huge achievement for BlackBerry, and BlackBerry couldn't even think that anything like a downfall could happen. Well, it's true BlackBerry wasn't actually expecting a downfall to occur anytime soon, but just a year later, 2011, the downfall of BlackBerry had officially begun. In 2011, BlackBerry just couldn't keep up with the competition anymore. To be precise, the iPhone 4 and the Samsung Galaxy S2 were both released in 2011, and BlackBerry tried their very best to try and keep up with the competition, But with the release of Android and iOS, nobody really wanted to have anything to do with the BlackBerry OS, as at this time they were running the BlackBerry 9 OS on their various devices, and it wasn't really catchy or impressive, for it couldn't really run most of the apps which both Android and iOS supported. Even at that, BlackBerry still released another device in this year, which was the BlackBerry Playbook. The BlackBerry Playbook was a tablet which was really cool and all, but with the lack of support for common apps which now run on the Galaxy S2 and the iPhone 4 and all other Android-based devices, this couldn't really attract customers to get the BlackBerry devices anymore. And then BlackBerry then promised their customers that they will be releasing a new OS, which was the BlackBerry 10. Unfortunately, the BlackBerry 10 OS was delayed, and due to that delay, that also led to a loss of sales, a huge loss of sales, and loss of customers, and everything started going wrong in BlackBerry company. 2 years later, which is now 2013, BlackBerry was still adamant and still couldn't adapt to the changes, to the rapid changes that were happening all over. For almost every device was now running either Android or iOS. And BlackBerry had just announced the BlackBerry 10 OS. And in announcing the BlackBerry 10 OS, they also happened to announce two new devices, which were the BlackBerry Z10 and the BlackBerry Q10, and some other BlackBerry Curve devices, which are not really important, but the main two flagships they released were the BlackBerry Z10 and the Q10. The BlackBerry Z10 and Q10 were two very interesting devices. For starters, the BlackBerry Z10 possessed a full touchscreen like almost every Android device and iPhone has had here, and also the BlackBerry Q10 possessed the keyboard. While everybody praised the BlackBerry Q10 for having a physical keyboard, people really couldn't praise the BlackBerry Z10 for it had faulty touchscreen issues. The touchscreen wasn't really responsive and it was really faulty, and the BlackBerry 10 OS was laggy and everything. Same goes to the BlackBerry Q10. It also had a very laggy OS and it couldn't really support lots of apps. But the BlackBerry Q10 on the other hand had the physical keyboard which was at least responsive, unlike the BlackBerry Z10 which the keyboard was just faulty. And at this point, it was clearly obvious that the doom of BlackBerry was coming faster than they expected. In 2017, well, surprise, surprise, BlackBerry announced yet another device. But how exactly, you may be wondering? Well, BlackBerry partnered up with another company known as TCL, and they struck a deal with TCL saying that they will no longer produce or manufacture any devices, but TCL will, and TCL was now in charge of manufacturing devices, but they were still under the BlackBerry brand. And what BlackBerry now did was just to produce software and security updates while TCL did the rest of the manufacturing, which was a good strategy. And with this, you'd think that BlackBerry will finally release new and good devices. Oh, could I be any more wrong? In 2017, BlackBerry released the BlackBerry Key 1, which was poorly received and a terrible device. 2018, BlackBerry released the BlackBerry Key 2 and the BlackBerry Key 2 LE, which was also poorly received. In 2019, BlackBerry stopped support for every BlackBerry 10 OS device, meaning if you have a BB10 OS device as at the time, it would no longer be supported. And then in 2020, BlackBerry announced their very final device, which was the BlackBerry Key 3 5G. Yes, their first and last 5G device. You would think that their last device would be very good, but it wasn't really. It was poorly received, had terrible cameras, it was really expensive, starting off at the price of $700. Meanwhile, their competition at the time was the Samsung Galaxy S20, OnePlus 5, OnePlus 6, Google Pixel 5 and 6, iPhone 12. Yeah, BlackBerry couldn't put up with the competition anymore. They noticed that their devices weren't even close to keeping up with the competition, and yeah, their devices were too expensive. Nobody really wanted anything to do with BlackBerry devices anymore, and they were just making loss after loss. And with that, BlackBerry officially announced, this time for real, that they would no longer be producing or manufacturing any more devices. So they stopped working with TCL, and TCL now had the right to make devices on their own, and that was the very last BlackBerry device. Whoa, okay, so it looks like we're finally back to 2024, where BlackBerry is literally non-existent. Wow, that really hurts, but anyway, BlackBerry is non-existent right now due to failure to adapt. Well, BlackBerry couldn't just keep up with the upcoming and drastic changes of other devices such as Samsung's, iPhones, OnePlus, Google Pixels, which were all running on Android, but BlackBerry were so inconsistent and decided to stick with their BlackBerry 10 OS, which no one literally wanted, and that OS literally did not support a lot of apps. So BlackBerry couldn't just keep up with the heat and the competition anymore. For nobody really wanted to use a device that still used physical keyboards, a track wheel, and a device that really didn't support any apps at all. And also a device that was slow, had poor and terrible cameras, and yeah, that's just the gist of it. The main problem of BlackBerry, why BlackBerry fell off, why BlackBerry failed, was the failure to adapt. I'm pretty sure other phone companies learned from this mistake, and yeah, other phone companies would never obviously follow the footsteps of BlackBerry anymore. So from grace to grass, basically. Pretty sure you all enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm that tech guy. See you guys soon. Don't forget to like.